15th of August 1947 is the first day of independent India. After 200 years of struggle, our great country was finally free today. On one hand, crores of Indians were celebrating independence. On the other hand, lakhs were grieving the partition. That evening at 5 p.m., Lord Mountbatten was to hoist the Indian tricolour flag after taking down the British flag in Princess Park near India Gate. His advisors believed that about 300 people would come there, but a crowd of people gathered there. In the history of the world, such a huge crowd had never gathered anywhere except the Kumbh Mela. You can guess the intensity of that historic moment from the fact that every arrangement failed in front of the enthusiasm of the crowd. The barricades installed to stop the people, the stage built for the band members, the VIP and guest seating gallery, and the ropes on both sides of the road. Everything was swept away in the surging wave of people. There was so much crowd around the band members that it became impossible to even play the drums. People were sitting so close that it was difficult for air to pass through them. In that crowd, there were thousands of women who were standing holding their infants to their chests. They were afraid that their children might get crushed under the pressure of the crowd, and when they felt the push of the crowd, they would throw their children in the air, and as soon as the children started falling down, they would catch them again, and this continued. At one point, it happened that hundreds of children were being thrown in the air as if it was raining from the sky. Then Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru reached there. Seeing him, shouting Jai Hind and Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Following him, Lord Mountbatten's 17-year-old daughter Pamela also reached Princess Park. Pandit Nehru looked at Pamela and shouted, "You come on the stage flying over the people." "He will not mind." Pamela also shouted, "How can I do this? I am wearing high-heeled sandals." Nehru said, "Take the sandals in your hand and move forward." Then first Nehru reached the stage by stepping on people's heads, and then following him Pamela also took off her sandals and reached the stage by stepping on the carpet of human heads, holding them in her hands. Sardar Patel's daughter Maniban Patel was already present there, but Lord Mountbatten, who hoisted the Indian tricolour for the first time, was nowhere to be seen. A few minutes passed like this, and then Mountbatten's buggy reached there, which was so badly stuck in the crowd of people that he could not even think of getting out of it. So he looked at Pandit Nehru and shouted, "Let's hoist the flag." After which the great Indian tricolour was hoisted in Princess Park, and Mountbatten stood on his buggy and saluted the tricolour. For the first time, the words that came out of the mouth of those 5 lakh people who were watching this historic scene with their own eyes were Bharat Mata Ki Jai, and they shouted the second slogan, Mountbatten Ki Jai, Pandit Mountbatten Ki Jai. In the entire history of India, no other Englishman had the good fortune of hearing people shouting this slogan with such heartfelt emotion. That day, Viceroy Mountbatten got what his great-grandmother Queen Victoria had not been able to get, nor did any of her other children. And when this voice echoed, Mountbatten's hair stood on end and tears came to his eyes. There was such joy in the hearts of the people of India at that historic and sweet moment that sad chapters like the Battle of Plassey, the atrocities of 1857, and the bloody tale of Jallianwala Bagh seemed to have been lost somewhere. As soon as the Indian tricolour fluttered in the air, a rainbow appeared right behind it. It seemed as if nature was also ready to celebrate India's independence and make that moment more colorful. After experiencing this historic moment, when Mountbatten sat in his buggy and headed towards the government house, his wife Edwina made the tired women sit in her buggy. They were so exhausted that they almost came under the wheels of the buggy. Those women sat on the seats, which were covered with black leather and were made for the King and Queen of England to sit. India's Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru was also present in the same buggy, but since there was no seat available for him, he sat on the hood of the buggy. The scene became a symbol not only of freedom but also of equality and brotherhood. Friends, in today's video, we are going to take you on a tour of the country's first Independence Day, in which we will also see rare videos along with some such interesting stories, which will make you experience that historical day which was written in golden letters in the history of India. But before that, there is a small request to every Indian. Please like the video and write Jai Hind in the comment box. The year 1945, on one hand there was the Second World War and on the other hand the movement of the great freedom fighters of India had broken the back of the British rule. The British had understood that if we stayed in India for a long time, we would not be able to return alive from there. In such a situation, when Richard Attlee became the new Prime Minister of Britain as soon as the World War ended, he immediately took a big decision and announced in the House of Commons of Britain on the 20th of February 1947 that we will completely liberate India by the 30th of June 1948. But with the passage of time, the date of India's independence came closer. Actually, the responsibility of liberating India was handed over to the country's last Viceroy, Lord Louis Mountbatten. Initially, Mountbatten was going to take 1 year to complete this task. But now India was slipping out of the hands of the British. Then the last Governor-General of British India, C. Rajagopalachari, warned Mountbatten that if you wait till June 30th, 1948, then you will be left with nothing to return power. After this warning, Mountbatten decided to give India early independence. During that time, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was adamant that I want a separate country for Muslims. However, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Mahatma Gandhi and many senior leaders of Congress were not in favor of this. Jinnah was even offered to be made the Prime Minister of independent India in place of Pandit Nehru. But Jinnah did not agree and Mountbatten accepted his condition. A meeting was held at midnight on the 2nd of June and Mountbatten himself requested Mahatma Gandhi to be a part of this meeting. But he was afraid that Gandhi might say something that would cause discord between the two. When Gandhiji reached there, Mountbatten got up from his chair and quickly moved forward to welcome Mahatma Gandhi, but suddenly he stopped in the middle. Gandhi stopped him by placing his finger on his lips. The Viceroy understood that today is Gandhi's death. After this, Mountbatten explained his entire plan. Gandhi took an envelope and started writing something on the back of it. While writing, he filled 5 envelopes, in which he wrote that I regret that I cannot speak. I keep a silent fast on Monday. While taking a silent fast, I have kept the scope of breaking it in only 2 situations. One when there is a need to talk to a high official about an important problem. The other when there is a need to take care of a sick person. But I know that you do not want me to break my silence today. After this, Gandhiji got up and left from there. The next day, i.e. on the 3rd of June 1947, Mountbatten called a press conference and announced that India will be given independence on the 15th of August 1947. With this, 2 separate countries will be formed in the form of India and Pakistan, whose constitutions will also be different. An interesting thing here is that before the press conference, Mountbatten had not thought of the date of independence. Rather, when the journalists asked him the date, he quickly chose this date. Because during World War II, on this date, the Japanese army under his leadership surrendered to Britain. Suddenly, there was an explosion from London to India on the date of independence decided and declared by his own will. No one had thought that Lord Mountbatten would end the history of Britain in India in this way. At the same time, this news brought happiness and enthusiasm among the countrymen, for the freedom for which millions of freedom fighters had sacrificed their lives. Now the day was near when the whole country was going to breathe in the open air of freedom. Friends, have you ever wondered that the date of the 15th of August was chosen for independence? Then why was the independence celebration started at midnight of 14th and the 15th of August? So there was a special reason behind this too. Actually, according to the senior astrologers of India, the day of the 15th of August was not auspicious according to the position of the planets and constellations. They advised that this day is not suitable for such an important task, and fortunately the position of the stars on the 14th of August was much better than on the 15th of August. Therefore, it was decided that India should be freed at midnight of the 14th of August 1947 so that it proves right in every respect. Viceroy Lord Mountbatten accepted this proposal. Independence Day celebrations were organized in the Central Hall of Parliament House in Delhi at 11 p.m. on the 14th of August. The celebrations were started by Sucheta Karpalani, who later became the first woman Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. First they sang Allama Iqbal's song Sar Jahan Se Acha and then Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay's Vande Mataram, which later became the national song of India. At exactly 11:55, the first Prime Minister of independent India, Jawaharlal Nehru, gave his historic speech Trust with Destiny. He started his speech with, "Many years ago we made a promise to destiny, and now the time has come when we will fulfill that promise of our destiny to a great extent. At midnight, when the world will be sleeping, India will wake up for life and freedom." Quote, he further said that,
"We are standing at the door of this freedom, that India is not the country of any one sect. It is not of people of one religion. Rather, it is of many different religions. What kind of freedom do we want?"
These words of his expressed the importance of freedom and the dream of a new India very well. Then, as soon as the clock struck 12, the echo of the conch shell spread throughout the central hall. Tears of joy and emotion flowed from the eyes of the people present there, and the whole atmosphere resonated with slogans of Mahatma Gandhi Ki Jai. After this, 2 minutes of silence was observed in the memory of the brave freedom fighters who sacrificed their lives for freedom. It was raining heavily outside the Parliament House. Amidst this, thousands of Indians were waiting for the historic moment. As soon as Pandit Nehru came out of the parliament, a crowd of people gathered. Senior journalist Khushwant Singh recalled that emotional moment and wrote that we were all crying. Unknown people were hugging each other happily. At the same time, a senior American journalist shared his experience of this moment and wrote that people were seen dancing and shouting with joy on the streets. Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs were celebrating independence, forgetting the differences of caste and religion. The atmosphere was as if it was New Year's Eve at New York's Times Square. At 8:30 a.m. on August 15th, Lord Mountbatten administered the oath to Jawaharlal Nehru as the first Prime Minister of independent India. Let us watch a rare video of this historic moment and take the oath of service to the nation in front of all our Prime Ministers from the hands of Chief Justice of Federal Court Justice Shri Harilal Kanhaiya. Similarly, the head of the new government Pandit Nehru and other heads are taking the oath of service to the nation from the hands of Governor General. This celebration of independence was not only being celebrated in Delhi but all over the country. The Indian tricolor was fluttering everywhere. People were gathering on the streets and singing patriotic songs. Slogans of Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Mahatma Gandhi Ki Jai, Jai Hind and Jai Bharat were echoing everywhere, and while breathing in the open air of freedom, all Indians were chanting Jai Hind with tears in their eyes, remembering those revolutionaries who sacrificed their lives to get the country freedom. But on the other hand, in some parts of the country, people were also bearing the dreadful pain of partition. For them, the night of the 14th of August was not a happy night but a dark night full of sorrow, pain and suffering. You can see about this from the link given in our detailed video description. So friends, in honor of the great revolutionaries who put their happy lives and lives at stake to make India an independent nation, please write Jai Hind Jai Bharat in the comment box. If you like this video, please like and share it. Make sure to get 5,100 likes, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell nearby for such rare videos. Jai Hind Vande Mataram.